all rise for the pledge to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. May we have roll call, please?
Mr. Buenaventura,
Present.
Dr. Rod, Ms. Di Giovanni,
Present.
Mr. Sylvester,
Glenn Sylvester present.
Ms. Manalo.
Present. Thank you very much. Now moving on to presentations. We have a presentation today proclaiming October 2021 as Filipino American History Month, and receiving it is the Filipino Bayanihan Resource Center. Let me read the proclamation. And so, whereas the city of Daly City commemorates Filipino American History Month each October, a month-long observance to honor and share the rich tapestry of Filipino American art, history, and culture. And whereas this year, the entire Daly City community is invited to Kasahayan sa Daly City, a Filipino American History Month celebration virtually on Saturday, October 9th, that just passed. And so at 10 a.m. at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, a day filled with music, dance, crafts, and Philam cuisine. Whereas the event will be held virtually and was held virtually and live on Facebook, YouTube, and Kumu, a Filipino community platform where users, viewers can live stream, play live games, engage and chat with other users, viewers globally. And whereas the event consists of a variety of demonstrations and clips provided by the Department of Library and Recreation Services, Escabo Daan, Kariktan Dance Company, Kawayan Folk Arts, Capoeira Batik, North Cal Kababayan and Community Group, Christian Kabuay, Breadbasket Bakery, and many more. And whereas the entertainment lineup included performances by Zina Ira, Nicole Polo, Ali Kearney, Tiffany Karandang, Mr. Goobs, Joel, Giselle and Isa, DJ Kubert, Melvin Sings, Maddie B, Kiana V, Jeremy Passion, AJ Raphael, and many others. And whereas Daly City's Department of Library and Recreation Services has partnered with PBRC to help further develop Kasahayan sa Daly City, Kasayahan sa Daly City into Daly City's signature community festival, and to provide the event virtually for the second time to the community and globally. And whereas, along with Consul General Neil Ferrer, the Philippine Consul General to San Francisco, the city of Daly City encourages youth to embrace the spark, connect, and power of movement within the Filipino American community to strengthen familial and ancestral connections with the Philippines. And now, therefore, I, Justin C. Manalo, Mayor and members of the City Council of Daly City, do hereby proclaim the month of October 2021 as Filipino American History Month in Daly City. And to receive it, we have our Arts and Culture Commissioner, Dory Paniza, and also is part of the Filipino Bayanihan Resource Center Board of Directors. You have the floor, Ms. Paniza.
Thank you. Good evening, Honorable Mayor Jocelyn Manalo, Vice Mayor Rod Magbual, City Councilman Attorney Ray Binaventura, Councilman Glenn Sylvester, and Councilwoman Pamela Giovanni. Thank you for honoring the Filipino Historical Month. It is an honor and tribute to Filipino American artists skilled performers, American entrepreneurs, and small business owners. We, the Filipino community, are doing our best to be the part of diverse ethnic institution of the United States of America. On behalf of the PBRC, I would like to say thank you very much for the Park and Rec led by the supervisor, Romeo Benson, and staff, and all the volunteers. Thank you for all your hard work. Mabuhay ang PhilAm community sa Daly City. Thank you and God bless us all.
Thank you so much for your amazing partnership. I know that the Filipino Bayanihan Resource Center worked very hard with the staff hand in hand. And it was just amazing to see, even through virtually, what can be accomplished. So I have big kudos to definitely the staff at the Recreation Department. I see Denise Brown popping up and opening up there. You know, amazing work, Denise. I will say that your team and Romeo just consistently, like, they just bring so much professionalism and just being able to share the culture and bring on just so many artists, the representation, not only locally, but globally around the world. And so just wanted to share with everyone watching out there, and also for a fun fact that, you know, the reason why October is actually Filipino American History Month, it's because the first Filipinos landed in Morro Bay on October 18th, 1587. And so that is definitely quite some time. And also just want to be able to honor the rich contributions of Tita Alice Bulos, who had made history, you know, Larry Itliong, Philip Vera Cruz, who was in the farm labor movement, and so many stories of Filipino Americans that have impacted the United States and beyond. And so thank you again to the incredible staff that really put on a wonderful event. I see you want to say, I think it's, oh yeah, the Dory and then Council Member G. Giovanni.
Oh, Commissioner, would you like to go first?
No, I'm okay. I'm already there.
You sure? Commissioner extraordinaire, I should say. Every year you outdo yourself, you and the PBRC. This year was very interesting as well because not everybody was interesting. For Commissioner, were some of the people in other places? Does it look like Jeremy and some of them is that you were able to put people that were not exactly here presently, but the ones that tour around, right? Some of the artists. That's what I thought was pretty fascinating. Although everybody would like to be in person, that this virtual thing has allowed you guys to expand and include a lot of people that normally probably wouldn't be able to participate present in Daly City. And I thought that was pretty fascinating. So Marie Villarosa, extraordinaire, and Perla, you guys put a lot of work in, Denise, and of course Romeo, that's his baby, is this event. So every year when they work together, they all know each other, which is perfect. So they're in sync together in the planning, and you can tell because it goes completely smooth, and it's mixture of all kinds of different culture. And so appreciate that. And I know it's hard work and hard planning and takes a long time. And I know you're ready for next year. And who knows what you guys will do. You'll knock it out of the park again, but maybe in person. Hopefully it'll be in person. That park's pretty big, so maybe we can keep ourselves spread apart. So thank you to all, and happy Filipino History Month to everyone. No matter whether you're present or far or whoever you are, it's a great celebration, especially those in our community, to get a chance to celebrate their heritage, their culture, the happiness inside, and the Bahamian spirit that lives within them. So mabuhay to everyone, and thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Buenaventura. Oop, you're on mute.
Okay, can you hear me now? All right. So I cannot think of a more worthy organization to celebrate Filipino history than PBRC, the Filipino Bayanihan Resource Center. That organization has done really some amazing things throughout the year, especially in times of crisis, both in the Philippines as well as locally in Daly City. In the Philippines, whenever there has been a natural catastrophe, such as a typhoon or a hurricane eruption, PBRC was there, and they did not hesitate to act immediately. And not only did they not hesitate, but they have such support from the community that their efforts really was just about opening the door and people would come in, because that's the kind of spirit, that's the kind of tradition the Filipinos have for each other and for others in times of crisis and to help. I remember things like Typhoon Sendong and some of the other, Yolanda. And I remember when Tita Perla and Dory went to the Philippines to deliver some supplies and goods. And I remember them showing us some of the schools they were able to help with their roofs that had collapsed or flown away. And they showed us some of the boats that they were able to purchase so that the fishermen there could sustain their livelihood. And just, I could go on and on. And then also locally, during the pandemic, they had not just one, but 3 food drives, 3 events where they would literally giving out food, certificates, money to people who needed it. And they were able to do that by raising money, by getting the support from the community and organizing in a way that was really effective. And they helped just a lot of people. And they integrated that with their culture. I remember the first event they did, they had people make their own adobo and the Filipino spaghetti and the Filipino barbecue and on and on. And I mean, I remember the last giveaway food event they had, they were giving away blankets. And so it's so appropriate that PBRC be recognized for what they've done. And I want to give a special shout out to Ray Satori. Ray Satori is our planning commissioner several times over. He's one of really the true leaders of our community. And he has been someone that has been an advocate for causes that are deserving. And he not just talks, but he really puts it into action. And he has sort of been the bedrock of PBRC in addition to Tita Perla Briantos and Dory Panisa. And I also want to make a special thank you to the president, Marie Villarosa, for what she has done in leading PBRC to what it is today. And so I could go on and on. I just can't say enough. And I think during these times in particular, PBRC needs to be recognized for all that they've done and supported for all that they've done. And we as a community are very grateful and thank you for all that they've done. So thank you, Madam Mayor, and congratulations to PBRC for receiving this event. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Buenaventura. You know, the work PBRC has definitely done has been tremendous, and they continue to do the amazing good work, and it never ceases. And so once again, thank you to Tita Perla Abrientos, to Kuya Ray Satori, Ate Dory Paniza, and Madam President Marie Villarosa, and board Rebecca Eisen. I know that, and everyone else that contributes. I think, you know, with every ounce of community service that they do it wholeheartedly and really for the community as a whole. And it's just tremendous that they continue to do that year after year out. One story I will share was when I was younger, that's how I first learned the Filipino Bainihan Resource Center, is they were outreaching to high schools at that time when I was a youth, so that young people could learn about their culture. I mean, I remember that, and that's many moons ago now, but that's how much they want to reach out to young people as well, share the culture, and provide a resource. It was a program to ensure that parents and children understand the different cultural differences from the Philippines and you know, growing up in the United States. And sometimes there are some differences. And so it was really around having that opportunity. And that's still embedded in me because I remember that they did that outreach to Jefferson High School and probably all the other high schools around, right? So thank you so much for your continuous work, PBRC, and always just thinking of the community first and foremost. Any other colleagues at this time that want to speak?
I just forgot to say thank you for Denise Brown. Denise Brown, sorry, I forgot your name. You mentioned your name, but you know, it's really really impress your staff because we are the MC, the PBRC. There's no rehearsals, there's no practice. Romeo just asked, Tita Doris, stand up there now. We're taking a video. So like, oh my God, what is this? But it's really good. So thank you very much. We are the popular MC now in the YouTube.
Oh, geez.
So if you weren't able to watch it, are people still able to watch this on YouTube? I believe so, right? You have to go on the Daly City Recreation channel.
And also Facebook.
Correct, yes.
And Facebook. So if you weren't able to watch it, you have the opportunity to still watch Kasayahan's Daly City. Well, thank you very much.
Madam Mayor, I think Ray Satori has a public comment. I see his hand raised.
Oh, okay, yes. Please allow Mr. Satori to become a panelist. Thank you very much.
Hi, hi, good evening to each and one of you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I would like to say briefly to the city management, thank you very much for our great effort with you. We are always in a collective effort here as an organization, considering that the Filipinos is the 57% majority here in the city. So it's, to me, it's really a good event that we celebrate this month. And also thank you to President Biden for recognizing this month. And to everybody. Everybody is, nobody is supernumerary here. Everybody is concerned to the welfare, public interest of the city. That is the only way I can say. Thank you very much to the city management, to Shana. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Thank you. Seeing no other hands raised at this time, we will now move on to, so thank you very much. Happy Filipino American History Month. We will now move on to item number 2, the approval of minutes, the regular meeting minutes of September 27, 2021. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve the minutes?
Do I have, is there a second? Do we have a second for the minutes? I do want to indicate on item number 6, if city clerk can note on city council reports, where it says Mayor Manalo thanked the manager and staff for the addition of the lactation room inside City Hall. If you can please add city manager Maltby as a change.
Noted. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Is there a second to the approval of the minutes? Being none right now, I'll second the approval of the minutes. And then all in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Aye. Thank you very much. Now we are moving on to the consent agenda. As we move on to the consent agenda, I will be pulling item number 10. Are there any other items my colleagues would like to pull?
Madam Mayor, I'd like to pull item number 6 to let the, hold on, item number 8. To let the public know. For me, item number 8.
Okay, so we have item number 6, item number 8, and item number 10. So with the exception of item number 10 and item number 8 and item number 6, do I have a motion to approve the other items?
Motion.
I have a motion by Councilmember Sylvester. Is there a second?
Second.
You have a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Okay, thank you very much. So I will move on with item number 6, authorizing city manager to execute agreement with off-the-grid services.
Hello, Madam Mayor and members of the City Council. We recommend that the City Council authorize to execute the agreement with Off the Grid Services LLC. A little background: when FEMA funding for the Great Plates Delivered San Mateo County program ended on July 7th, 2021, the San Mateo County Board of Supervisors allocated $2 million in new funding for former Great Plates Delivered participants at severe nutrition risk without delivered meals. San Mateo County Aging and Adult Services surveyed meal providers to see which could produce and deliver meals to those most in need. Recreation Services staff, with support from the city manager, city attorney, and human resources offices, determined Daly City could serve up to 150 at-risk older adults each week starting August 2nd. At the July 26, 2021 City Council meeting, the council approved entering into a contract with San Mateo County to participate in Second Course, the successor to the Great Plates Delivered. To meet the needs of Daly City older adults for the period July 7th through July 27th, 2021, Aging and Adult Services arranged for the San Mateo County Sheriff to prepare meals, Aging and Adult Services staff and Daly City Senior Services staff, alongside volunteers from Daly City Host Lions, San Francisco Host Lions, San Mateo County Commission on Aging, and the Jefferson Union High School District Student Clubs to package meals weekly out of the Jefferson Adult School Facility, and Off the Grid, a meal deployment operation employing contract drivers to deliver the meals. Aging and Adult Services also contracted with Meals on Wheels San Francisco and with Self-Help for the Elderly to serve Daly City seniors in need beyond the 150 that Recreation Services can accommodate. Aging and Adult Services arrangement with Off the Grid has proven to be effective and was extended to Daly City through October 17th of 2021. While Recreation Services has the capacity to cultivate a volunteer corps to deliver meals to our homebound older adults, staff recommends Daly City contract directly with Off the Grid through at least the end of the calendar year of 2021. This arrangement is cost-effective, mitigates liability for the city, and is safe for program participants. It will allow Recreation Services staff more time to recruit, screen, train, and support a volunteer meal delivery team should Daly City continue in the second course program or enter into an Older Americans Act subsidized home delivery meal program when second course sunsets as anticipated in 2023. The second course program that Recreation Services provides receives $15 per meal reimbursement from the County of San Mateo Aging and Adult Services. Daly City would pay Off the Grid Services LLC $16 per delivery, which on average equates to $3.20 per meal. One delivery consists of 5 meals per client, and the city would pay Off the Grid out of one of our senior congregate lunch program budgets. Staff is available to provide any additional information desired by the mayor or city council.
Thank you very much for that presentation, and great to hear that this is being done for those that need it. Are there any particular questions, Councilmember DiGiovanni?
Yes, actually, not really a question. I just want to know that it's great that we have this on the agenda because a lot of people, I'm sure you're already getting phone calls, Denise, about like, are they going to continue? They're starting to get worried, a lot of the seniors, which is great. I direct them right over to you guys because you guys take really good care of them. And if Ms. Cooney's on as well, and all of you take really good care of answering their questions. And it's very thorough and very caring the way you handle things. So it reassures them that there will be food available because I think food insecurity is probably a very, very, I would say probably not just now, but probably one of the most for, especially in our seniors programs, and that to ensure that it passes and that we continue it in some manner. And then you guys are trying to get adjusted. I thought that was a good idea to get adjusted and try to revamp everything as we move forward through this pandemic. Appreciate the hard work and the heart that goes into it. A lot of love. So thank you very much. I don't know if any of my colleagues have anything to say.
Any other comments or questions from my colleagues? Seeing no hands raised, I want to thank you, Ms. Brown, for your presentation, all your hard work, the continuity to serve our seniors and those most vulnerable. I know how much love you have for doing this and saw it firsthand when we're able to distribute those goods to the seniors, and they love seeing you every week. So thank you for your work. And now, seeing no hands, I move to approve authorizing city manager to execute the agreement with Off the Grid Services LLC. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you very much. And all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Now moving on to item number 8, adopting resolution authorizing remote city council meetings under the new State Brown Act requirements AB 361. And I think that will be you, Ms. Zimmerman.
you, Madam Mayor and members of the City Council. Good evening. This item before you is a recommendation for the City Council to adopt the resolution authorizing the continued remote City Council meetings under the new State Brown Act requirements under Assembly Bill 361. By way of background, as everyone is well aware, since March of 2020, and because of the COVID pandemic, City Council of Daly City, as well as all the subordinate bodies, boards, commissions, and committees have been remotely meeting pursuant to the governor's orders to suspend all teleconference requirements that are required under the Brown Act. In recognition of the fact that the pandemic is still ongoing, on September 16, 2021, the governor did sign Assembly Bill 361 as an urgency measure to amend the Brown Act and to authorize all public meetings remotely under certain circumstances from a remote location. AB 361 did go into effect in October 2021 and does expire January 21st, 2024. If the City Council does desire to continue meeting remotely, it must comply with AB 361. AB 361 does include additional requirements in the form of the draft resolution as provided to you, and is effective for only 30 days. For continued remote meetings for the City Council, we would be bringing the council's subsequent resolutions to extend it an additional 30 days thereafter. AB 361 does require several procedural safeguards to protect the public participation during the remote meetings, in that the noticing in public must have ability to address the legislative body directly. The public must be provided either a call-in or internet-based service option, and the city does extend this to 30 days beyond the resolution if adopted. To conclude, staff does recommend the City Council adopt the attached draft resolution for AB 361. Thank you again for your time this evening, and staff is available to provide any questions or any additional information as desired by the mayor or the City Council.
Thank you very much, Attorney Zimmerman, for your presentation on this item. Are there any questions from my colleagues at this time in regards to this?
Just one quick one. So Ms. Zimmerman, so you're saying that every 30 days we have to renew this, or how does this work?
Yes, so every 30 days, it's essentially the same resolution. You will see a very similar resolution, which essentially will be on the consent agenda. If any council has any additional questions, they may pull it and discuss it further.
Okay.
But because we are still in a state of emergency for the governor's orders, this resolution will take effect.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. Thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing no hands raised, I move to adopt the resolution authorizing the remote City Council meetings under the new State Brown Act requirements AB 361. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much. Now moving on to item number 10, approving the City of Daly City procedure and conduct guidelines for elected and appointed officials. So first and foremost, I want to thank the staff for your work on this. City Manager Maltby, Assistant Manager Stolte, and City Attorney Zimmerman. I think this is something very important for us to have as a council, and the procedure and guidelines are so important, many of which we already do. I see the draft here, but an item this important should have a full council. I think that we need to have a full council to vote on an item like this. And in respect to the vice mayor, our colleague who is at the moment grieving with his family, I would motion to move this item when he is present.
Second.
I have a second. Are there any discussions at this time?
Madam Mayor, just asking when are we going to move it till?
It would be when he's present. I don't know.
Okay.
It,
Thank
If I may, just through the chair, it is a motion for continuance. Is it to a date certain, or would you like to table this matter?
I think we would table it until we know when the vice mayor is.
Okay, so the motion is to table it,
Yeah.
or so that to continue it.
Okay, the motion is to table this item, and for the record, in respect to our colleague Vice Mayor Daly Smugglal, who is not present. So I just want to make it clear it's not because of the content. It's I think we need to make sure that we have a full council on this matter. So just want that to be on there.
And I second that.
Okay, thank you so much. Is there any other hands raised? I see none. May we doesn't need a roll call vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Thank you very much. Now moving on to public comment. Ms. Leilani. Thank you.
In accordance with the Brown Act laws governing regular meetings, the City Council is not authorized to speak to or take action on any other items in this meeting. Members of the public who wish to comment may click the raise hand feature to raise your hand to speak. For those joining by phone, press *9 to raise your hand and *6 to unmute. It is important to note that staff will announce the name of the last person whose hand was raised upon calling for public comment, and that person will be the last verbal comment. If any additional speakers queue up after the last called speaker, the mayor may continue to allow public comment if time allows. Otherwise, public comment may be emailed to cityclerk@dalycity.org to be added to the record and shared with the City Council. When you hear your name called, staff will send you a request to unmute your microphone and you may begin speaking. Each person will receive a maximum of 2 minutes to speak and may only speak once. When your 2 minutes have been reached, we ask that you wrap up your comments. Speakers not in compliance will be muted. We have 5 hands raised. The last called we have 6 hands raised, and the last called speaker will be John Jones. The first speaker is a call-in. It's the first call-in user. You may press *6 to unmute.
Hey, it's Kurt. How you guys doing, man? Hey, yeah. So I'm working with a couple of my buddies here, and we got this problem here. We got this problem where you guys are like wasting a lot of time for the community. And the first meeting, I think he attended, it was like 30 minutes late, and the second meeting was like 17 minutes late. So we need to make up some time here. So I need, you know, my colleagues can be calling in too, but we need like 5 minutes each because you guys are like really wasting a lot of time. So you don't need to interrupt us because the public, he's going to be calling in later. I think he's probably on one call now, but he needs to let you guys know that it's against the First Amendment to actually hang up on somebody. So you shouldn't be doing that. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, you know, this really goes up to the community and to the public. So just want to confirm 5 minutes, right? First of all, yeah. Community members, these guys are servants. They occupy City Hall. We pay for tax to pay their salaries. So they're actually supposed to serve us. Now, they haven't really been responding at all to any of the emails or any of the correspondence. Really no answers on the death of Mr. Allen, like back in April. So really concerned about these guys because there's been a lot of things going on too. So there's complaints filed on these guys. There's conflicts of interest and just the EODs looking into them, and just, it's really, really a mess. So, and then we hear all these racist comments being made and stuff, and you guys really got to tune in, community, and see what these guys are up to, because it's not good. It's really, really not good. And we need to understand our Constitution too. So the Constitution gives us rights as citizens to not talk to cops too. So if a cop walks up to you in your disabled vehicle, you don't need to talk to him. You can just tell him to go home and tell him to kick rocks or whatever. But don't let him do that. So poor Mr. Allen. The police approached him, 4 police officers, and he was shot and killed. So that's something that we need to work on too. I don't know what the police state is now, but I guess the city manager, that's her problem, because I'm sure it's going to be like a lawsuit or something. And then we got the vice mayor. So the vice mayor is always flapping his gums, and he called this, not much of a man, because he called this lady out on the color of her skin. So men don't do that. Men
Thank you for your comments. The next speaker we have is Ray Satori.
Hi, good evening again, Madam Mayor. Thank you very much for giving me the privilege. Well, my topic is about the City of Daly City Procedure and Conduct Guidelines. I understand you will try to lay this on the table until further notice, but I fully subscribe to the intention of the City of Daly City Procedure Conduct Guidelines for elected and appointed official to formalize the so-called long-standing procedures and conduct lines practiced by the City Council and also all the commissions and boards. A public office is a public trust. Public confidence of the community is a way of good decision-making process for the general welfare and public interests of the people. I believe that we should have a norm of conduct in the process of in aid of legislative ordinance. So, to me, I have worked also in the government. That's why I should know this. And based on my experience, there should be a norm of conduct to each and every one of us, whoever we are. No one should be above the law, as they say it. But to me, the intention of this procedure is to really to put things in places, like the ethical concerns and procedures that we have to do, not only during the meeting, but also during our everyday lives in the process of delivering basic services. That is why I fully endorse that City of Daly City Procedure and Conduct Guidelines. And I hope it can take effect as soon as possible, because this will be some sort of guidelines in dealing with not only with the council, with the city manager, city officials, city commissions, and everybody. So to me, I fully endorse that the intention of the City of Daly City Procedure Conduct Guidelines. Thank you very much, and hopefully we can do it in a, I would say, very professional and properly conduct in the future. Thank you very much, Madam Mayor.
Thank you.
Next, we have another call-in user number 2.
Good evening. It's the public. How are you? Hey, so I want to go through a couple of things here because I still don't think we understand each other. First of all, you were told to give your notices. You've yet to give your notices. You were terminated, and you've yet to be terminated. You've yet to walk out. So a couple of problems there. agencies have been contacted about your behavior, about all of these complaints coming through. And really, I don't think this is really working out. I mean, I think based on what I've been seeing is a recall is in order. So I don't know if you simply want to bow out or we have to go through the whole process of going through the entire recall process. So really wish you would bow out. Mr. Sylvester, don't ride my coattails. I don't appreciate it. I don't appreciate you making comments on my public comment. I really don't appreciate that. You know, I'm a man. Okay, I don't ride any man's coattails. So don't do it to me. Got it? So just keep running your thing. You're running your little gig there, and you sit there, squat there in your desk, but don't ride my coattails. I don't appreciate it, and I will tell that to you. I'm not going to even shake your hand, but I will tell that to your face. And the rest of you, you know, I don't know what to say. City clerk can't get the minutes right. I told you what to put in the minutes, and you've yet to put the minutes right in exactly what I said. So that's another issue. And if an attorney has to look into it, so be it. So I'm really, really tired of this. Obviously, city manager, all of the employees of Daly City report to you. Don't know what you're doing. Don't know why you allow this to happen, but you need to get on things. The cops are tyrants. No training whatsoever. And quite frankly, if you need somebody to take over, we can find a replacement for you. That should not be a problem. But I really think all of you need to bow out. Else we have to do a recall. This is really ridiculous. Emails are sent to you and they've yet to be responded to. So this police state, the doors are locked, the doors are closed and locked, unanswered questions. You guys are living like cowards. I don't understand why you guys.
Thank you for your comments. Next, we have John Jones.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
My name is John Jones. I live in San Francisco, just across the Daly City line. I wanted to call in and just tell you that I empathize with the council for the personal abuse that you have been receiving on this Mr. Allen matter. I have been following it somewhat closely in the local press. I've yet to see any explanation as to what Mr. Allen was doing with a very good replica firearm at the time that the shooting occurred. But the reason I wanted to call was to empathize with the council for the kind of personal abuse advocacy that Mr. Allen has received. I don't see any reason to pay any money on his claim, and I hope that the city council will not. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comments. Next, we have Rita Chow.
Hello, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Dear honorable members of the City Council, my name is Rita Chow, and I'm a resident of Daly City. I'm here today as a member of the 2021 Supervisory District Lines Advisory Commission. This all-voluntary commission is right now performing a mission fundamental to our democracy, helping to ensure all residents of San Mateo County have equal representation. We do that by using 2020 census data. New population figures are being used to draw lines so San Mateo County 5 supervisory districts have close to the same number of people. But this is more than just a number game. Districts should also fairly represent communities with shared needs and interests. On behalf of the Commission, I invite you and everyone watching and listening to this meeting to get involved in this important process. At the first step, I encourage everyone to go to smcdistrictlines.org. That's smcdistrictlines.org, where you will find a wealth of information and ways to participate. We want to hear from you about what you consider your community. You can, 1, fill out a survey available in English, Chinese, Spanish, and Tagalog. 2. Share your opinions and comments on Facebook and Twitter using the hashtag #SMC District Lines. 3. Participate in a public meeting. You can find the full schedule at smcdistricts.org. As you as council members know, our elected representatives make decisions that have real impact on our communities. The Board of Supervisors oversee an annual budget of $3.8 billion, where district lines are drawn impact who can run for office and who voters can vote for candidates from a district. Once approved, district boundaries will be in place for the next 10 years. The time to get involved is now. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your comments. Next, we have Desi.
Hello, councilmen and women of Daly City. I'm making a public comment about the discussion that was had last council meeting around Saints and Sentinels. I am the executive director of Cultivate Labs, the former fiscal agent for Saints and Sentinels, and I want to reassure the council that there was no financial impropriety around Saints and Sentinels. It was a community-led effort, bringing together a lot of different leaders from across the Bay Area to really just address Asian hate crimes. And so one of the activities we did is we hosted an event at Gellert Park. And we raised some money so we can offer free martial arts classes to the community. And in all honesty, the amount of money that was raised was a little over $1,400. Of that $1,400, nearly a third of that went to the insurance coverage that was required by Daly City for us to host the event. So we're looking only at about $1,000 left over to continue to pay, free self-defense classes going forward. And no money was paid out to Mayor Jesselyn. No money was paid out to Joseph Escobedo. There is no financial impropriety whatsoever. There's not a large sums of money being raised through this program. It's really something that was grassroots, that was put together by community members. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Next, we have Christy Morales.
Hi, good evening to Mayor Justin Manalo and to the members of the City Council. I'm basically speaking, my name is Christy Morales Kumasawa, and I'm speaking on behalf of the Filipino Mental Health Initiative. As Desi mentioned, we were one of the groups involved with coming together to address the issue as a grassroots effort in response to what was happening in our community with the anti-Asian sentiment and the attacks. And so this was our way coming together for the Saints and Sentinels project. It was us, Filipino Bayanihan Resource Center, Vibes and Smiles, and Cultivate Labs, as Desi mentioned. And, I was just wanting to make sure that people, the same that Desi said, that there was no impropriety. All of this money went towards, what was raised was to help fund these self-defense classes for community. And so I was actually at all of the self-defense classes. We also not only promoted messages of how we are coming together in community, but also I'm a mental health clinician. And so this was an opportunity for us to assure community members that we're doing what we can to address what was happening, because we had a lot of very scared community members. And we wanted people to know that this was an effort that we wanted to be, wanted to provide for the community, as well as some of our mental health resources, which is why I was at all 3 self-defense classes, as well as we had about 8 to 10 participants per class. And this was a wonderful effort. And it was supported by Mayor Justin Manalo. And we appreciated her support because it was important for this effort to really just show how the community can come together around this very difficult issue and this very difficult time. And so I just wanted to share that I was part of this effort and that this is something that was really just for the community. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. And last, we have Cheryl.
Hi. Hi. So I wrote a letter to City Council, Daly City Council, and I decided to read the letter that I sent today. So I'm gonna start. To whom this may concern, I am writing out as a concerned citizen regarding elected official Pamela Di Giovanni. I was a supporter of the councilwoman until Sunday, September 19 of this year, after an incident at Ceremony Mall Food Court. That day, I received a text message from Miss Di Giovanni asking to meet her at 1 p.m. She said she needed my support because she had set up a meeting with 3 other people, Filipinos whom she will try to gain support for a complaint she had about what happened in previous council meeting. I have not watched the video, but in that meeting, she explained a derogative statement was said to her by another member of the council. She also said that she planned to file a complaint against her fellow council members for alleged fraudulent activities involving real estate companies, which included San Mateo County Supervisor David Canepa. Pamela encouraged all of us to watch the meeting video to further be convinced. They replied, saying that if her allegations about fraud are true, she should file a complaint first because they wanted facts and proof before committing to support her. 2 of the Filipino people left, and Pamela was clearly disappointed because she was not able to garner the support she wanted immediately.
Cheryl,
Yes.
your 2 minutes have been reached.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for your comments. That was the last public comment.
Madam Mayor,
Yeah, yes.
I think that I heard that she had said she submitted a public, a letter. I thought I had read in the email that she tried to submit that at the last council meeting. I think because she tried to admit that, I think she should be allowed to finish her letter.
Yeah, since she tried last time, I'll allow it this time.
Thank you. So she encouraged all of us to watch the meeting video to be convinced. They replied saying that if her allegations about fraud were true, she should file a complaint first because they wanted facts and proof before committing to support her. 2 of the people left, and Pamela was clearly disappointed because she was not able to garner the support she wanted immediately. She asked why Filipinos support fellow Filipinos even though they do illegal things. She said that never again will another person of Filipino race sit on the council after what they did to her. She said that in Daly City, only 33% of registered voters are Filipinos and are not considered the majority. Daly City is diverse and others should be given the opportunity to represent it. I agreed with her statement about diversity, but also told her to be careful in generalizing a race based on what was allegedly done to her by a few. Further adding that if Filipinos don't matter, why did she call a meeting today with all Filipinos for support? She said, I know nothing about politics, and the union doesn't want another Filipino in the council anymore. I asked what she meant, asking if the union decides the outcome of elections in Daly City. And to this, she said that I was twisting her words. At this time, the food court was packed on a Sunday and our discussion was becoming heated, and my voice and her voice were loud enough for other people to overhear. I stood up to leave and she tried to stop me, saying she wasn't done talking, to which I replied, "Then shut up. Who do you think you are?" I honestly can't believe she wanted to further embarrass herself at a public food court. What if someone was taking videos on their phone? So I have been a supporter of Pamela because she has displayed a great deal of concern for Daly City by being accessible and responsive. But I realized that day that that's not enough. As a public figure, she is an example and at the very least be respectful in her interactions. She should not be discussing her racist opinions in public. In that meeting, the three people were asking her questions about the trash, problems, etc. But what she kept wanting to talk about was her personal agenda of re-election in 2022. I was a previous resident of Daly City. I still work here. And I am of Filipino descent, but have sworn allegiance to the US when I became a citizen and after serving in the California National Guard. It is very scary to think that an elected official has racist thoughts after ongoing issues about Asian hate crimes and Black Lives Matter. I urgently ask that this incident be addressed right away. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Leilani, are there any more participants?
No further hands, Mayor.
I want to thank everyone that spoke on public comment today for taking the time out and speaking to all of us on council this evening. We are now moving on to appointments of boards and commission membership committee appointments at this time. Seeing none, moving on to council committee. Are there any council committee reports?
Yes, I have a council committee report. Can you hear me?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Benaventura.
So I think it was last week. I met with a group of young people, youth commissioners actually from San Mateo County. They are in the process of organizing support for a youth peer court program. And I met with them through the Social Justice Committee where we held a Zoom meeting. And they were invited to participate in the meeting, and they basically presented a plan on what they perceive as a really good peer court program. And it's a program that physically would be taking place at the Boys and Girls Club in Daly City, where the goal is to try to capture those youth offenders in a way that really, it's like a restorative justice program for young adults. And it pretty much covered what we had talked about in our own restorative justice adult program that we are talking about. But this is more centered on youth. It's also designed to address the issue of truancy among the youth. And they really have a structured program. They have the funding for it. One of the big funders for it is Supervisor David Canepa. And so they have a lot of other people who are interested in supporting the program. I think it's roughly about, I want to say 300,000 was the number that they threw out. And then they have enough, at least, to do the first couple of years of the Peer Corps program. However, in order to be successful and long-term, they're going to need some assistance from the various cities who participate in this Youth Corps program. One of the cities, obviously, they want to capture is Daly City because of our large population. They've already been in talks with the school districts about participating, and they've having really good conversation about that, and they're very interested. So it's at its beginning stages, but it's something that I think we will bring before you for a more robust discussion as things develop. But it was really good to hear that they have a Youth Corps program in process. And so, well, more to come. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember Buenaventura, for that update. I will add that it was truly inspiring to see these young people present on really their plan to create this peer court, right? It's really youth-led and just very young, brilliant, and enthusiastic and passionate young people that really want to create change. So thank you for that. Councilmember DiGiovanni.
Thank you, Mayor. On the City Council report, I would like to first say happy for the Indigenous Day that we are here tonight, but all day today. There were several different forums on the Zoom that celebrated Indigenous Day throughout the United States and the world. And also there was a tie-in Heritage Month, also in October, that I'm hoping that I received a lot of interest in reviving it in Daly City, as well as having a Daly City delegation in the Italian Heritage Parade, which is the oldest parade in San Francisco at that time. And we'll probably have the Consul General of Italy next year. Thirdly, I'd like to just clarify that at the last meeting that we had, that I believe there was Mayor Manalo, so that she had documentation that our city attorney had sent her saying that she did not have a conflict of interest. Well, actually, for better clarification, once I reached out to the city attorney, all it was is that the city attorney sent all of us what a conflict of interest is. The city attorney never said directly to Mayor Manalo that she did not have a conflict of interest. She was just sending us information as council members, because it's up to us to decide whether we have a conflict of interest. And it was defined, and it was given several language in that she sent out the attachment. So I'd like that clarified for the record. So let's hope we can celebrate also Italian Heritage Month for next year, along with our other many cultures that we celebrate and love in our community. Thank you very much.
Any other city council reports at this time?
Oh, I do. I'm sorry. So I wanted to piggyback on what the public speaker said about the district lines. So just a briefly, so the county is engaging in a process to make sure, based on the recent census data that was obtained, to sort of even out the population sizes for each district. And so for each district, the census has revealed how many people are there. And it's roughly about $5,000 either way in terms of what the target number should be, meaning equally. And when I say that either way, the district election process is trying to figure out where that 5,000 number of people should be separated. In other words, in some districts, it's over a certain amount, so they're going to have to lessen their numbers. In other districts, they have to increase their numbers in order to achieve population balance. And so I bring that up because in Daly City in particular, in District 5, there is talk of drawing district lines that will impact, I believe, and dilute the votes in Daly City. One proposal, for example, has the map drawing Pacifica into District 5. And I believe that kind of drawing of the map will dilute the votes of the people in Daly City. And so I made an objection to that. So I'm saying all this because I'm urging the public to pay more attention to these district lines discussion. Up until recently, the public comment was very low. It seems to be ramping up now, but I would urge the public that you should speak up and you should engage in either drawing your own maps as to what you think it should be, or supporting a map that is being proposed. And at the next meeting, they're going to display several maps that are draft proposals. So I would urge the public to study the maps, consider it, think about what's acceptable to you and what's not, and then voice your own objections or support for it. The meetings are on Zoom. I believe the next meeting is October 21. It's at 6:30, and there's a chance to offer your comment there. So that's what I would urge. I'd start first with going on to the website that was referenced earlier and check it out, look it over. There are tools there for you to make your own maps and see what it looks like, and then make a decision on what you think is the right map to support. So thank you, and I hope to see you there or hear you there on Zoom.
Thank you, Councilmember Buenaventura, for that. It's extremely important for community members to get involved in the district, kind of the district lines are being created, because that affects you as a community member. So thank you, Councilmember Buenaventura, for bringing that up to everyone so they can make sure that they have their civic engagement. I just want to once again set the record straight. My colleague, Councilmember Di Giovanni, keeps pointing out to the last meeting stating, where funds went or whatnot. I just want to state that it was utilized for the community. I don't hold the money. You've heard from the organizations themselves. So please stop vilifying me, Councilmember Di Giovanni. This has to stop. Your abuse needs to stop. And you mentioned about conflict of interest and all of this, but when I never said there was a document. I will specifically say at that time when you were bringing it up, I did contact the city attorney via text. And she mentioned that there's no conflict. She said, she did ask me and said no conflict. Also said, although I can't comment on FPPC, only advisory, but she did say no conflict. So Councilmember Di Giovanni, you keep, bringing this up over and over again. I gained no monetary gain, therefore there is no conflict of interest. You understand that there was a grassroots community event. I have to repeat myself over and over again, really to come together. And I don't know how many times I have to repeat myself, or community members have to let you know, just let it go. And it was something that was for the community. Moving on to city council events, I really want to thank the staff for all their work on the Filipino American History Month event. And also, it is Indigenous Peoples Day. And I am looking towards staff and my colleagues for the next year to come that we honor Indigenous Peoples Day. It is today, but I'd like to see if we can honor Indigenous Peoples Day. In doing that, really be able to, I'd like to work with Dr. Jonathan Cordero, who's a professor and speaker and leader in the Ramaytush Ohlone community, which is where we are right now. And so that's something that I think we need to do in the future. Also, there was an event last Saturday at Tanfran from Project Pearls. They continue to do work giving back to the Philippines by actually just donating toys. A lot of children in the Philippines, don't have a lot, and so it was also a community-led effort. It was really beautiful to see folks just donating, young kids donating toys, and they were just wrapping it, pulling it into a balikbayan box and packaging it to send out to the Philippines. I was able to see Tony Bayudan there, the Chief of Staff for Supervisor Canapa, and also the supervisor that was there that day to support that event. I think also I just want to say was able to join the Police Athletic League that have provided for the youth for a long time, and they did their annual golf tournament, which was with many organizations as Republic Service, and also just all the organizations. I think City Toyota was there, but it was really to be able to give back to the youth. I see 2 hands up from my colleagues at this time. It was Council Member Sylvester.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We're on item number 12 now, council reports.
We are on city council reports. Yes, that's where we headed over because it segued through Council Member DiGiovanni, and so it segued right into it.
All right, thank you so much. I wish we had an agenda item for good of the order, but we don't. So I think maybe perhaps this might be a good place. I'd like to direct this question to our city manager, and I'd like to make a request, and I hope the rest of council would agree with me. I don't need an answer tonight, but perhaps we can place this item on the agenda, and that item is, if possibly we can get an update on the police body cams. I believe we were supposed to hear something in October, so I would appreciate if we can get an update. That's all I have. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Council Member Sylvester. Is this a city council report, Council Member DiGiovanni?
Yes, it is, Madam Mayor. I just wanted to add also that at the PAL dinner as well. And I was glad that Pitt accepted the invitation, and we had several members there. We had Teresa Fapua, we had Phil, we had Ruth, we had Phil's wife, we had Ray Gonzalez and her husband Ken, Representative Penn, and Raina was going to come, and Sam, but were unable to make it. So it was great that they were able to make it, and it was a wonderful, successful event. And for our Police Athletic League, they do things with their monies, so many things in our community. One thing that they did that was pretty magnificent was they helped along with Supervisor Canepa, but with the monies, was the turf at Woodrow Wilson for their soccer. But there's many things that they do with it, and I appreciate everything they did with Mussman and Acting Chief Gamez and all the board, Officer Ortiz. It was great. Stayed there till the end, and hopefully it was very successful. But thank you very much. Thanks, Madam Mayor. That's it. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other comments from my colleagues? Seeing none, I just want to say, it's been a really long, probably 18 months. We're still getting out of a pandemic. The great thing is that many have gotten their vaccinations, and also, going through 2020 now towards the end of 2021. I just want to say thank you to everyone, to my colleagues, and also to the staff. It's been a very unique time, for all of us. And there have been many challenges that we have to move through. But, Daly City is my home. Daly City is where I was raised from the age of 8 years old to where I'm raising my children now. And so that's how much, care that I have. And really, it's caring for the community that we all live in. And I know that there's more work ahead of us, but I want to say thank you to every single person out there from all of the different departments for your consistency and also for all your hard work. We are forging through, and as Mr. Stolte knows through our PSAs, we are getting through this together. And so thank you, everyone. At this point, I will now ask if staff, Council Member Ray Benaventura.
Madam Mayor, I wanted to join in what you just said. When we, do our discussions, I think that what sometimes get lost is how much we value and treasure our employees and our staff. And I'm talking about everybody. And I know it has been a difficult year or two. And I just, perhaps there's something that we can do to show how much we truly care and appreciate our staff. I'm hoping that we can someday soon all get together and show it in person. But short of that, we can only, say it over Zoom or by telephone or by text, and it just doesn't seem enough. And so I want to thank you for putting that out there and letting the people know that we do really care about everybody. We understand there's a lot of stress that's going on, and we're doing things a different way, but we're doing them. And so I want to really thank and appreciate the staff. So thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember Bonaventura, for that. And now I will ask if there's anything from staff on item number 13.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I wasn't going to report out, but I wanted to piggyback on what Councilmember Buenaventura just said regarding staff. Could not agree with you more with regard to this workforce, incredible, seamless customer service with this entire workforce from the top to the bottom. And we are in fact celebrating them soon. You should have gotten an RSVP. HR did a magnificent job, even in these challenging times, getting a local merchant taco truck to come by. And we have designated times for each department to come get some food, even if they have to wear masks. And so you are more than welcome to join us. Just let city manager's office, administrative office know that you want to go, and what your, we'll even pick up the food for you if you want to join us. So take care, and thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you so much, City Manager Maltby, and always really there for the employees and thinking of something special for them and hiring a local vendor to say thank you. It's definitely something to look forward to, for just for people to see one another, right? I think that's also what's happening. Hopefully others can see, other employees can see one another if they haven't during this time. And so we hope for the best, and we hope that as we move forward through this pandemic, we'll be all working together. And also want to let the public know that although we cannot respond to any of your comments, we do hear them, and that we are here to listen. And so thank you very much.
I'd like to make a comment, please.
Councilmember Sylvester.
Yeah, this is basically on a humorous note. And I guess for Ms. Maltby, yes, I did hear about the taco truck. Unfortunately, I can't be there, but since we now have off the grid, will you deliver? Just being funny. Thank you.
Yes, Councilmember Sylvester usually doesn't miss that meal. And so at this time, seeing no other hands being raised, I want to thank everyone once again for taking the opportunity to be here at our city council meeting this evening, and want to take everyone's time. Thank you for everyone's time. We do have our adjourn in memory, and so at this time, I'd like to adjourn tonight's council meeting in memory of the following. Beverly Halber, the finance management analyst Amanda Halber's grandmother, who passed away in early October. And Councilmember Bonaventura.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'd like us to adjourn in memory of the nephew of Grace David. Grace David is one of the really strong community leaders in Daly City. And back in September, I think it was September 26, she had posted on Facebook that her nephew, Ezekiel Dazzle Cruz, who was only 25 years old, had taken his life. And I know that this affected Grace tremendously. I know that she's still trying to heal from this. And so I'd just like to close with her final statement on her Facebook page, which was, she called him Keel. So she says, Keel, I love you and I miss you, my dear sweet nephew. You may rest in peace now, Tita Grace. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember Bonaventura, and condolences, Chris David. May we all have a moment of silence for those departed. Thank you. Good night.